world war. And it's not about who's got the most bullets. It's about who controls the information. What we see and hear, how we work, what we think. It's all about the information.
You want a war? You got a war. And there's no looking back. There's no forgetting. And there's no forgiving. I can see it all clearly now. The more we build, the more haters try to tear it down. The more we build. Now you listen to me. All of you. You hoodlums don't own these streets. We got an army looking seas.
That's right. We got an army you can see and an army you don't know nothing about. How you guys doing? This is Covert Radio, and this is brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. War music, yes sir. Yes sir. Your redemption draweth nigh, I do declare. You know, this song I wrote about 20 years ago. It's been about 20 years. It's called Bruza Tastuja. This is a compressed version of it, believe me. I don't put all of my... Like, when you record, when you make music, you know, you could have anywhere from 10 to 50, I mean, not including vocal tracks. You can have 100. You know, there, Enya, I don't know, you guys may or may not know, she's a vocalist. She writes her own music, and you know, just on one of her songs alone, she could do up to 75 vocal tracks because of the layering and the different octaves and stuff. But, you know, all the music you hear on Covert, well, not all of it, but 90% of it is written by me. And, but it's stripped down versions of it. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't put my full versions out because people would steal it. And then, you know, you go from there. That's why I have no problem playing a lot of music on here, because even if it isn't mine, I don't care. Let the artist make the money. I'm not monetized. I mean, you know, it's not like I make money from this. Somebody made a comment the other day. They're like, I don't understand how, you know, how Covert Radio makes money. I mean, he does 2 hours. This is the show about Wrangler Star and stuff. I don't make any money. The only money I have is support from people who believe in what I'm doing. That's it. And that's all. I mean, I'm not monetized. You can't, YouTube, the communists would never monetize this channel. And see, I know I keep saying this, but that's what you can see. You can't imagine the stuff you cannot see that's been taken down, abruptly removed, hidden, filed DMCAs on them. I mean, I've been to war. And we got some good news. I want to show you guys something. This is only going to mean something to some of you, the core Covert Radio audience. Look at this. Oh, redemption draweth nigh. Hey, Owen, I want you to take very careful notes here. And we're not going to get into, I'm not going to play anything. This motherfucker here, Brother Polight, I watched him operate with just zero repercussions for years. And we worked, and I do a lot behind the scenes. I do a lot too that, I don't share. I can't, because I wouldn't jeopardize my contacts. And, as soon as because what's going on here is nothing new for me. Like I said, we're in phase 2 dealing with Owen Benjamin out of probably 25 phases. So, we're just in the beginning of this. Brother Polight, I watched him operate for many, 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 many years. And a lot of my videos about him have been taken down, his network, because, see, what happens when there's a white person that goes against a black person like Brother Polight, what it does is it awakens for a lot of very racist black people. It awakens this racism that they believe is just normal. And see, a lot of black people are so racist, they don't even realize like how normalized it is to be racist. Like, and the only way I can do that is explain, like, well, what if there was white entertainment television? What if there was the white experience? Like, these are all things that are so normalized, that are 100% race-based, that black people can't conceive how racist they really truly are. And then the communists and the Zionists reinforce that they can't even be racist. It's impossible. It's not until you start questioning them or trying to destroy their illusions and delusions and their scams, like this dude right here. Rob stole, Owen, fake real estate investing scams. Wow, it's going to get you, buddy. I'm telling you, your redemption draws nigh. Tommy Sotomayor living in his mother's basement, from a $5 million mansion, living in his mother's basement, okay? Sequestered. A little peeping mouse. Brother Polight is going to do 7 years in prison. And he's going to have to answer. They have their own rules. He's ripped off a lot of black people. He's a black Israelite. His whole story is so convoluted. I may get into him one day, but I'm not gonna spend any time on this. I just wanted to show you what he's going to prison for is rape of like a 14, 15-year-old girl or something. He's also he has his own religion. He had his own everything. It's all based around black power, black empowerment. He had a harem of women, and I guess one of these women's daughters was involved, and he ended up, it's never enough. It's never enough. That's like one of the Beartards on one of my last few tweets dealing with Owen on Twitter. There was like, well, he's a pretty bad cult leader. He's not banging anybody's wife. I said, not yet. Not yet. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. That's what, this is how you graduate into this. And, but that's what he's going to prison for. But he walked around a development. Like, he jumped a fence, him and this dude. I think he had a clipboard or something. And there's a real estate development going on. I forget which city. I want to say it was Cleveland. But he was building these apartment buildings, low-income housing. Or no, maybe it was like a high-income area. I don't remember. But anyway, this real developer, a guy I don't think Brother Polight even knows, was building these basic apartment buildings, but he was taking shipping containers and stacking them and rearranging them and making houses, basically an apartment building out of it. And, they were in the stage of like still running I-beams and getting footers and things like that. They might have had a couple set in. Brother Polight had his media guy, just like Owen Benjamin does. Hector Macho Camacho. Brother Polight had a brand manager. So he has his video guide, and they're walking through this construction site, And Brother Polight's, yeah, so now, see up here, this is how we're doing this here. And then he's like acting, he's holding a clipboard or something like, and he's pitching this to his followers that this is what they're investing in. Never, ever, he was trespassing on the fucking property. Brother Polight also, Owen, listen close, this is your future. This is the best future you could hope for. He also plagiarizes and repackages other people's works. Wow, what does that sound like, Bears? What does that sound like? Send me your articles. If you're an expert on anything, if you have any information about anything, send it to me. And then I'm going to take it and give it to somebody else. And then I'm going to charge everybody, the same people who submitted the information, I'm going to charge them to read it. Gravy. Total gravy. Pay me. Owen monetizes other people's information. That is, to me, a form of plagiarism. I mean, you're monetizing something that you have nothing to do with. You're regurgitating information that's not yours. And you're monetizing it. That's what Brother Polight did. So all these years I've watched him operate. All these years he's been called out. He's been exposed. And, the cult mentality is, it's brutal. It is brutal. I don't know. I can't connect with it. But what I've learned is I have to do this to try to help those who, or before they're too far gone, or before they even get involved in it. So yeah, I just want to, and this is for all you guys on Covert Radio who know, you know what I mean? You know, and here he is, 7 years. It couldn't happen to a better person. So yeah, goodbye, Brother Polight. We'll see you later. And he won't make it out of jail. His 7 years will turn into 20. Because like I said, he's robbed so many people that it's all going to come back. See, that's the universe, Owen. You can ride a wave all you want, but eventually it crashes. The wave is crashing, Owen. The wave is crashing. And I don't care how many satanic rituals you enact, how many, magic spells you try to cast, like this video here that I'm about to play. We're going to get into some very, very deep information here it's a continuation of the last video. And we're going to talk about the ritual that Owen Benjamin performed at the Bertaria Fest. This ritual right here. Big celebrity. Throw a tomato at the big celebrity for 50 cents. Joe Rogan, why are you laughing at Big Bear? Why are you laughing at him? Gee Whittaker, that ain't right. I don't like that. Jesus, I'm gender fluid. It just happens sometimes. Steven Crowder, how dare you laugh at Big Bear? He's one of us. Gooble gobble, one of us, Gooble gobble. Ceremony, ritual. Gooble gobble, one of us. It's called Catharsis. Owen is trying to strip away. Oh my goodness. Who's at the door? What's going on?
Covert Radio, we have a security breach, but we thought it was, but it's Fat Larry. He fell off his chair and he shook the bottom 3 floors, so apologize for that, but yeah. Hey, I'm going to be up on the 19th floor. I'm going to drop the kids off at the pool in that really nice handicap stall. I got to get naked when I shit. All right, later.
I can't anymore. We're going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk after this. Nobody cares of your IBS. Okay? Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. I hope, check Big Larry out. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, Big Larry, I say 6'3", he says 6'5", 6'6", but he is about 400 pounds. Big black dude. but he's like a baby. He's like as sensitive as all get out. You know, he cries over the least little thing. And, you know, so, but he's very intimidating looking. So, yeah, sorry about that. But, yeah, Catharsis. Owen, what he's done through this ritual is he's trying to, what's a snake do? What is that called? When they get rid of their old skin. Shedding. That's what it is. It's shedding. It's a ritual form of shedding. It's called catharsis. And we're going to get into that. And again, prove me wrong. Everything I'm about to go over in this, my opinion on this satanic ritual, that's not a Satanist, Covert Radio. Big Bear, he said grace. I seen him right when they had the hot dog sauerkraut buffet. Big Bear he said grace. So he's definitely as holy as I thought he was. And so Jim Bob, made by Jim Bob, he didn't do nothing. He didn't damage him at all because that was just Jim Bob. So, yeah, Owen's definitely a man of the cloth. So, yeah, he said grace. So that means he's a righteous dude. Okay, so everything you say is lies. Everything you say is gamma. So, yeah. But, yeah, he said grace. So that means him's is righteous. Yeah, I bet he did. But this whole ritual of shedding the facade, shedding all these repressed feelings of like, you know, he can't stop the exposure. And this is so fucking calculated. It's terrifying. It really, really is terrifying. Because normally catharsis is something that only comes into connection with deep psychoanalysis of somebody's personal introspection. So what that tells me is Owen has absorbed, like I predicted, like a sociopath would, and a person with narcissistic personality disorder, they are addicted to what people like Covert Radio have to say, what people like Texas Goat, Liz Antoinette, Owen Benjamin Highlights, Milker Nation, Digital Jonestown. There's several more. I look in the description. I have a bunch of channels linked. They're addicted to finding out what people are saying about them because what that does is make them better. It makes them better manipulators. It makes them better at, running the scams that they're running. And he didn't even have his bags unpacked out of the car yet, and he's already started immediately running the wave, coming back to Idaho. On the way, he's asking for more money because he knows the energy and this catharsis shedding of the facade and the celebrity. He's killed the celebrity. One of us, Gooble Gobble, one of us. But what people don't understand is catharsis only happens because somebody is so fucking dirty now. They're so diluted with underlying problems that is the only way to resolve it. They can't fix it. They can't lie about it. They can't correct it. They can't deflect it. They can't fucking hide it by blocking it on Twitter. So he's had to actually go through a ritual. And this ritual is done over and over by Satanists. It is done by elitists. It's a humiliation ritual. Because in their mind, they believe that once they perform this ritual, this ceremony, everything is discharged. That discharges them, and they can start anew. And I'm going to prove to you that's what this was. With Owen's own fucking words, I'm going to prove this to you. It was an emotional release. And he believes he's so brand new. We're going to get to that. I want to show you this video here first, just to give you a basis of of where this comes from, and the entitlement and the narcissism, the delusion. And I'm going to show you spellcasting 101. And this is somebody who genuinely believes in there's no spiritual bound. There's no spiritual entanglement or responsibility at all. He has no guilt. And in this last video, I went over a study done, a psychological study, and it was about 9 years ago. But they studied prisoners that were constantly coming back into the system, and they broke it down into two mind states. People who felt guilty hardly ever reoffended and came back into the system. However, people who felt shame, 2 out of 3 came back, reoffended, came back. They were just a little bit ashamed. They don't care. They're going to keep doing them. They have no guilt. They don't give a fuck who they hurt. They don't care who they rob. They don't care who they lie to. They don't care who they steal from. Zero guilt. I'm going to show you spellcasting 101. Let me hit play on this. Okay, where's this sound? Okay, here we go.
I just wanted to explain to you how I make a living and what I do so that my Twitter makes more sense. I'm a comedian. I did stand-up.
Mind you guys, just so you, in case you can't read the date on this, this is June the 24th of 2023, okay?
Comedy for 16 years. I got banned from clubs and theaters. Like theaters that I would book out myself would cancel at last minute. And starting in 2017, 2018. So I committed to the farm, had a bunch of kids, started my own platforms, all this stuff. But what I do for the most part, it's very simple. And I will get back into touring again because I think now the pressure on me is releasing a bit.
Oh, and you're never, ever, ever going to tour again in any comedy clubs. Let me tell you how this works, Owen, okay? You see, I believe you don't understand this. You definitely don't understand women. And in my opinion, which I hate to do this because I really feel so bad for Amy, but your treatment of her is proof that you literally have zero guilt, maybe possibly compassion. I would almost guarantee that when she cries, you can't stand it. You got to get the fuck out of the house. Amy, hit me up. I'd love to know if this is true. Listen, if you guys want therapy before the divorce or even after, because you're going to have to maintain some level of friendship because of the kids. So I'll offer, my generosity, okay? I'm showing you my hand, okay? I show you my hand, and I advise you not to slap it away. I'll give you guys 3 hours of free therapy. Okay, how's that? Because you're going to have to remain friends. But the disregard, the emotional, mental abuse, the physical, and I'm not talking, there's no accusations here. I'm not making any accusations or assumptions. I'm just going by what has factually been publicly disclosed by Owen Benjamin. Kid after 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 kid. Kid. Zero time to heal, zero time to recuperate, zero time to regenerate. Oh, and farm boy, you don't know that you have to rotate crops? Did you not know that? Do you not know that if you plant tomatoes in the exact same pot every year without giving the soil time to regenerate, that it's only going to become degenerated over time, and eventually nothing will grow? So even at the bare minimum understanding of biology, why you would do that to her is beyond conception. And that just proves to me your level of mania, your sociopathic mania. And he just said it, though. I'm not making this up. He just said it. So then I had the biggest, I was dropped on my head by the Zionist in Hollywood who I sucked the tit of for probably 10 or 15 years. I was literally dropped on my head. I had no money, no network. I had a little bit of money, but no network. And I've never had to fend for myself. My parents were millionaires. I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I never had a want for nothing. I've never had to work a job. I've never had to go to school or get an education. I went straight to Hollywood, landed multi-million-dollar whatever jobs inside of networks. And, I've worked with Vince Vaughn, who produced Sullivan and Son, and I've had a completely fancy pants and lolly delusional lifestyle until I was completely dropped on my fucking head. And then I went insane. I had kids. I did this. I got a farm. I got animals. This is hoarding. What he's done is a form of trauma. It's hoarding. Some people hoard statues that they buy at the dollar store. Some people hoard shit from yard sales, okay? Some people hoard children, I control the life of this plant. This plant lives because of me. I control the life of this child. This child depends on me. I'm its sustenance. This is what people do when they are dropped on their head. I'm not saying physically dropped on their head. I'm saying cut off the tit. Cut off the tit. You want to see a kid go crazy? Who's been completely spoiled for the first 25 years of their life? I almost said I want to introduce you to my daughter but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, you want to talk about somebody who's spoiled, and then when they got to fend for themselves, it's like it's just a big. I can't get into it, but yeah, that's what happened. He just said it. So this is where the mentality comes from. And see, when you are now trying to fend for yourself, which he has no other option, you can see what he's capable of doing. Robbing, lying, stealing, manipulating. Robbing, lying, stealing, manipulating, casting spells. Everything here he's casting spells here. This is called affirming a reality that doesn't exist, that he wants you to believe, and he wants to put it out into the universe to hope that it reflects truthfully back to him. And it does work, but people have to believe it. And there can be no aspersions. And once the aspersions and the disbelief come, you have to start ritualistically cleansing and purging. That's what catharsis is. Here we go.
Is I break spells. That's why they call me, the Wizard Slayer, Spellbreaker,
Nobody calls you that, Owen. You call yourself that. Okay, go ahead.
Tamer of goats.
Nobody calls you that. You call yourself that.
And what happens is I'll say stuff that people find shocking or uncomfortable or jarring. And
okay, everybody, if you're driving right now, please pull over. I'll give you a minute. Go put your signal on. Okay, go ahead. The jarring, he just said, okay? Now I'm going to tell you, this is crazy. It's pretty probable we did not land on the moon in the 1960s. I know. I hope nobody has just grasped their heart and their pearls. That is the level of spell breaking that Owen believes is just so monumentous that it deserves robbing thousands and thousands of people for $500,000 plus.
Then it kind of sits with them a little bit. Then they start listening to my streams a little more. Their life improves. A year later, they have a garden. They're off pills. They're off alcohol. A lot of people credit me with giving them the strength to not take a vaccine.
Wow. You see the psychosis here? Do you see the psychosis? He can't get himself off substances, but he, the Lord and Savior, Owenus Larpington VIII, he can just talk to somebody, you know, not their family, not people who love them, not people who have known them for their entire life, not children, cousins, aunts, uncles, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. No. A guy on the internet who talks about dicks 90% of the time and being circumcised, he got you to get off the heroin. You know, now I had somebody in the comments say, see, and I did this on purpose. And I shouldn't even tell you this, but I will. Owen, close your ears because I know you're listening. I did an experiment. I did this on purpose. If you listen to, not the last video, the one before last, the phone call, the satire, it might not have been. It really, I think that really was Owen and Coddington. I mean, I don't, dang it, Larry, what is going on up there?
Covert Radio. Yeah, Larry he's a daggone mess up here. He's crying, he's freaking out, he's scared to death, he keeps looking out the window. He's in total disbelief that we've not landed on the moon in the 1960s. He's so shook up, he's shaking, he said, look, you can see the American flag, look. So, I mean, yeah, we're trying to calm him down. I apologize about that. Everything's cool, everything's great. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead, and I think Larry got a toter head poking out because when he stood up, I smelled some.
That's enough. That's enough. That's it. I don't need it.
That's a big 10-4.
Yeah. So, where were we at here? Where were we at?
Take a vaccine.
Oh, yeah. So, everybody, whose families love them. It was a guy on the internet, got them off the heroin, got them off the alcohol. You know, because he talks about dicks and circumcision and, that's what I was saying. The little test I did. You know, in that conversation, you notice that Coddington had no information about Covert Radio. But what he did unequivocally have is Covert Radio is a Christian. Covert Radio is a Christian soldier. You know, all these things that Coddington seemed to uncover. Well, my plan worked exactly how I thought it would because the entire duration of every video I've ever done on Covert Radio, dealing with Owen Benjamin, not one person has ever mentioned Owen Benjamin is the reason that I'm saved and now a Christian. Nobody has ever said that. But when Covert Radio had made that statement, and now as calculating as sociopaths are, and they take all information they can get and they devise a new plan, a new strategy, something tells me that one of two things happen. Either it's a troll account and they're pulling on my own heartstrings or trying to. They don't know they were set up. I gave you that information to see if you would do anything with it, and you did exactly what I thought you would do with it. You came here and you publicly said, Owen Benjamin, yes, Covert Radio, yes. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and maybe it's true, but I'll tell you, Owen has done nothing but help me. I was an alcoholic before I listened to 3 minutes of Owen Benjamin, and then because of Owen and through Owen and the Bears, I became a Christian. I was saved, and now I have a child. Like, this comment went on and on. I mean, maybe not about becoming a father, but this person took it, and I'm throwing out quotations, this person went on and on and on that video about how now they're a Christian because of Owen Benjamin. So what they've done, they've taken the bait. I gave you a piece of information to see if you would use it, and you did. You see what I mean, Texas Goat? That's why we have to be so careful about what we say. And I just wanted to prove that to everybody. We are over the target. Go ahead, Spellbreaker.
Even like high-level military guys and people in corporate America. You know, back when Joe Rogan and RFK Jr. were having vaccine-only shows and parties, I was standing very...
Meanwhile, RFK, in reality, is dedicated his entire life and fortune to debating the, I got to watch what I say, debating the relevance of certain vaccines. His entire family name, fortune, life. But he is telling you that Joe Rogan and RFK trying to make the assertion that they are pro that VAXX, and they're having parties like, yay, it's the best thing in the world. Completely not true, complete lie. He's casting spells. Every 3 words, every 5 sentences is spell after spell after spell, trying to affirm a reality that doesn't exist.
Very strong on it. And I was kicked off Airbnb. I was for being a science denier. But that strength permeated to my listeners. And so what happens? They get grateful and they send me a super chat. They'll send me a donation in the mail, subscribe to my magazine, subscribe to my podcast. And it's also one reason why they're so loyal.
It's not your magazine. I mean, you benefit and you've monetized other people's information and you profit from it. So, I mean, I guess, yes, in that sense, it's your magazine. But, see, this is what's fucked up. Are you trying to separate yourself, Owen, from the cult that is so prevalent and obvious? You act like you're trying. What he's doing is splaining. He's splaining, okay? He's trying to justify why people give him money and that there's value here. He's trying to create a value that doesn't exist. How did almost 1,000 people wind up laying face down in the jungle in Guyana dead, Owen? Is that because they got value? Was it value? Is that why there was several, 100 people that died, burned to death in Waco, Texas because of David Koresh? Was that a value? Was that an exchange? Was there a magazine there?
Because sometimes people see my listeners and they're like, oh, is Owen a cult leader? They just never break. They never turn on him. Yes. It's because they've been through it,
See, I want you to realize how terrifying what he just said is. They've been through it. This gives me chills when I think about it, because I think about the spirit of Jonestown, and I keep explaining the similarities between Owen Benjamin and Jim Jones and the People's Temple, Jonestown and Beartaria. I've showed you the interviews. There's a kid in the 1970s in Guyana jungle, and he's a young man, and he's like, he's on a little microphone. He's like, yes, before I came to Jonestown here in beautiful Guyana, Father has graced us with the ability to learn different trades. Father's generosity and the help of the other bears, I mean, the members of the church and the People's Temple have taught me a tremendous amount of skills. And then I cut to a literal video from a year or so ago of the cult of Bertaria. A young man, same build, same, character, the same spirit. Yes, before the Bears, I didn't even know how to do anything. Because of Owen, Owen, I know how to operate hand tools. I can now operate a handsaw. I've never touched a piece of wood prior to this. Excavator Bear is teaching me how to run an excavator. Cut to Jonestown, 1970. Mr. Phillips is teaching me how to run it's the same spirit. The dark clouds are coming. I'm warning you. Bears, I am warning you. The man on this screen has nothing to lose once he loses everything. Do you understand that? His mentality, his ego, his psychopathy does not allow him to fail. It's everything or it's nothing. Just like what was his name? Marshall Davis? Or what was the guy's name with Heaven's Gate? Oh, and let me ask you this. Oh, are you Heaven's Gate? I know his name was Marshall, first or last name. Are all these web designers in this house in California, is this a cult? And they don't budge. Oh, and did they budge while they were getting dressed in black and putting on black Nikes and draping the purple scarf over them? Were they budging then? Were the people trying to run out of the fire at Waco? The FBI, the ATF, that's how fucking evil they are. They knew, they had people on the inside. They knew the preachings of Koresh. They knew the teachings. And they used it against them. David Koresh preached, this is how it's going to go down. This is what's going to happen. They're going to come. There's going to be fire. And that's exactly what the ATF and FBI did. They made it come true. All those people died, just burned to death. Do you think they wanted to? Were they in a cult, Owen? Like I said, were the 1,000 people in Jonestown, did they have a chance? Here we go. Let's see. Is this going to come up? Yeah. Let's take a look here. There you go. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Were they in a cult, Owen? That was all through the house. There's their bag for the journey. There's the bag for the journey in the comet, in the tail of the comet of Halley's Comet. There's their black Nikes, their black pants. Were they cult members? So yeah, but go ahead.
Do this before bed to stop receding gums and decaying teeth before it's too late.
We'll give it a moment. He is monetized too. I wonder how much money he makes here.
And a lot of these people were like having pretty rough lives, and a lot of them were very financially successful, but just drugs.
And a lot of them aren't, Owen, but it doesn't matter to you because you still take.
Drugs, alcohol, lies, idol worship, cortisol, pornography, all that. And when I break these spells, I know sometimes it seems like I'm being mean. I'm not being mean. And for the people that it helps, they become incredibly loyal to.
This is so creepy. See, and it's creepy because I know so much about cults and I know so much about Jim Jones. It's terrifying to me. It really genuinely is. I'm going to let this play out for a couple minutes.
To me. And that's it. That's literally, there's no myth. There's no secrecy. I've never been paid in my life to do a tweet. I have no sponsors, no corporate sponsors. I have no debt. I owe no one money. I'm in no networks outside of ones that I've created. I just say true shit. I make it funny, I make some of these spells funny, which jacks people out of it, Their life improves. They get a wife. They get a baby. They start gardening. They get a better job. They stop resenting a family member. They get over something, and then they're listeners for life. And then they tune in, and they really enjoy my vibe. They enjoy my humor. And then on Twitter and places like this, you'll see all these people like, oh, you're not a real comedian. You went crazy. You ate a pop brownie. You're a piece of shit. And it doesn't faze my listeners because they know what that is. And so that, I just wanted to explain.
Yeah, I got to take that back.
I don't run to get over something, and then they're listeners for life. And then they tune in and they really enjoy my vibe. They enjoy my humor.
Did the 1,000 people laying on the ground in Guyana enjoy the vibe, Owen? Did the people in the house at Heaven's Gate, did they enjoy the vibe? There, every bit of media from Heaven's Gate, every one of them are happy. Even after becoming eunuchs, the men becoming eunuchs, which again, the man on the fucking screen is obsessed with male genitalia. Obsessed with foreskin. Obsessed with circumcision. You can do your own search. 90-some percent, 80, high 80, low 90 percentile. It's either male genitalia, homosexually driven, you know, male productive organ driven. I mean, it's shit, or sex. I mean, because, and that was Jim Jones. There was a book I covered in, I think in the last video, one of the detractors who barely got out alive before they went to Jonestown. She said that a lot of the Sunday sermons were literally just about sex. It was all, he wanted women to, and again, a part of a humiliation ritual, he would put women on the spot and ask them about their sexual fantasies. Another thing Jim Jones did was try to convince men, everybody in his congregation, that they're all homosexual. So again, this video and the next one I'm going to play you is just, I can't, it's so terrifying to me. Because I know how this ends, Owen. I've seen it. Just like in 97, I saw the Chinese on our streets, the troops marching. There was $20 bills blowing, and nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared to pick them up. And I didn't either, because I knew they meant nothing. They meant nothing. This was 1997. I had this dream. And I can still remember the sound of the military truck coming down my street, down my road. And then all these small Chinese soldiers marching in step, full camo, holding M16s or whatever. It's terrifying.
And then on Twitter and places like this, you'll see all these people like, oh, you're not a real comedian. You went crazy. You ate a pop brownie. You're a piece of shit. And it doesn't faze my listeners because they know what that is. You know? And so that, I just wanted to explain that.
So all the family members that begged their family to not go to Guyana, is this how they talked inside the People's Temple? Yeah, my mom keeps telling me don't go down here, that this is a cult, and, you know, that, I don't know. I mean, you know, Jim Jones never made us drop our identity and make us reestablish a new pack identification inside of our commune. Jim Jones never did that, but he did have a real estate investment scam. Investigate it for yourself.
I don't run a religion. I don't even allow anyone on my...
You can't run a religion. Jim Bob flushed that facade down the fucking toilet.
My property that I don't know super well.
You can't, because you've robbed and stolen and hurt and lied to and manipulated so many people that you will forever look over your shoulders, Owen. Oh, that's what I was saying before about you saying, oh, it's starting to lift. I'll be touring club. No, you won't. You will never step foot into a public venue at that level again. And if you do, it's not going to be because there aren't people trying to stop it. This is the level of damage you've done, Owen. The universe does not lie, Owen. There's balance at all times. And again, you can ride this wave as long as you want to, but it will crash. It will crash. And let me tell you, see, that's right. I got sidetracked. Let me tell you something about women that I know. Having 2 daughters, okay? Men will go on the street and settle it in 5 minutes and then probably go have a beer somewhere and keep in touch and be friends. Women will actively, secretly, in the shadows, work to destroy your life for the next 25 fucking years. Okay? That's how women are, Owen. You may not realize that or even know that. And the women you've hurt, the women you've robbed, the women you've lied to, it's never going to happen, Owen. They're not going to allow it. That's why I genuinely suggest any women who are listening to Covert Radio, who want to be a part of this, it's on your heart to slay dragons, liars, charlatans, Satanists. Join the Covert Radio Patreon. Become a Patreon and join at the level for Discord access, because this is where the war plans are. This is where phase 3, 5, 8, 9, 12, 15. This is the coordination. This is where the attack plans are drawn. And I'm going to tell you something, Owen. You will never, ever do a comedy club again. And if you do, it's going to be because it's a personal friend or somebody who knows you or doesn't care about perception. You've put so much garbage out that you're only going to get that back now. I promise you that. So, yeah, but go ahead.
I'm not holier than thou. I have a ton of my own problems, but I'm good at spell breaking, and I don't buckle to social pressure. You know, if 99 people out of 100 tell me I'm crazy and stupid and wrong and I'm science denying and I'm going to get all my listeners killed because they won't vaccinate and all this stuff, I don't care.
And we all know that, Owen. We all know that. There's another name for that, okay? I'm not diagnosing anybody, but yeah, there's another word for that. When you're blind to perception, when you're blind to reality, when you live in a bubble. Yeah, there's definitely a few words, actually.
And that can come across as crazy or slightly sociopathic or antisocial.
What?
Or a lot of these things. And I understand why people can say that to me, but I
see what he's doing is he's and I said this last night with Texas Goat. That's why I had to record these last two. Because I'm riffing on comments and I'm just like, I can't do this. I have to break this down because it's too important. It's too terrifying and people need to understand this. There's no, let me take this back.
Antisocial or a lot of these things. And I understand why people.
Yeah. There's no understanding this unless it's explained to you. Put it that way. And what he's doing is it's called recasting. This is textbook psychopathy, textbook sociopathic. He's taking information that is readily now he can't hide it. He cannot put a lid on it. He can't hide it. So what he's done is absorbed it. He's absorbed it. He's thought about it. He's reconfiguring it. And now he's recasting it. So that's just another form of creating spells and casting spells. You know, it's like the old saying, well, if somebody gives you lemons, make lemonade. Like that's the concept behind this, but on a much higher level. But it's got to get to a point where the flood and the information is so overwhelming that there's just not going to be any ways to keep splaining. This whole video is splaining, okay? This is recasting, reconfiguration. It didn't work. It did not work. He tried. It's only gotten worse. So he had to do the ritual that we're going to go over here in a moment at Bertaria Fest 2.
You can say that to me, but I know when I'm right. You know thyself. It's a superpower. And I know situations where even if I'm wrong.
Yeah, do what thou will. That's a satanic mantra. Go ahead.
It's not a big deal.
Alex, what is it? Aleister Crowley.
Like, I don't guide people wrong. You know, you might disagree with something I say.
Did Jim Jones guide people wrong, Owen? Did, what was it, Marshall Applewhite? That was his name, Marshall Applewhite. Heaven's Gate. Did he guide people wrong? Did David Koresh guide people wrong? Those are just three off. Those are the big ones. Those are just three off the top of my head. Did they guide people wrong, Owen?
But ask yourself, what would it matter if he's wrong? What's the big deal?
Well, do you want me to show you all the death photos? That's the big deal.
And they say, you know, you're known by your fruits. And if you look around at my listeners and a lot of the stuff we're making, it's objectively good. And so that's what I do. And so sometimes you'll see my tweets or something and you'll say, why are you being so unnecessarily antagonistic? Because I'm trying to break people out of hell. And it works. And comedy is one of the best tools for breaking spells, breaking idol worship. Idol worship is incredibly dangerous. When people say, oh, this guy's going to save me, this guy's going to save me, this politician, it's a code.
But you've saved so many people, Owen. See the double speak here? This is all spell casting. Don't believe in anybody except me. A politician, a doctor, a this, nobody can do anything for you, but I've done this. I've gotten people out of addiction. I've gotten people money. I've enabled people to have children. I mean, like, this is insane. I mean, it is fucking insane.
Hey, oh, this guy's going to save me. This guy's going to save me. This politician. It's a codependent relationship. It's codependent relationship. It's like, oh, if I hit the button for Obama, or if I hit
a codependent, I can't see. This is why I can't do this. Codependency is what you're looking for. Those are the people you're targeting, Owen. And you test them initially to see how moldable and malleable they are by making them drop their, you know, it's similar to the military. Why does the military make the new recruits shave their head on the first day? Why does the military make new recruits shave their heads on the first day? Catharsism. That's exactly why. If you want to keep deducing down, that's what I do. I keep boiling, sifting, and I just give you what's scraped out of the absolute bottom pot. The bottom line. Catharsis is why they shave their heads. It stems all the way back to the ancient Greeks. It actually translates literally into purgation. It's a purging, a purification. The group is bigger than the self. The group is more important than self. The bears are more important than whoever the fuck you think you are. And your new identity is going to be solely based around your contribution to me. Your contribution to the cult. I'm crafty, nilty, quilty bear. What does crafty, nitty, quilty bear do? Let's wonder. I'm excavator bear. Oh, let's see here. What does excavator bear do? I'm Vaseline stinker bear. What does Vaseline Stinker Bear do in the Vaseline Private Stinker Bear tent? I've seen it. I totally did. I seen Stinker Bear. I seen Vaseline Stinker Bear at Bertaria Fest 2023. He had his own tent. It was right next to the shit bucket tent. And believe you me, the smell of Vaseline, you got 20 yards away, all you smelled was Vaseline. I think the tent was sponsored by Vaseline, actually. Big Bear does have sponsors. Stinking liar. Yeah, here's a reenactment of that. There's 5 guys standing in line at the private tent of Vaseline Stinker Bear. There's like a disco ball. And they're all standing in line. They're like, gee whiz, are you bald head bear? I bet you are, because you know why you have a bald head. I mean, re-identification, re-establishment into the cult, the group, you destroy the self. That's why the army shaves your head. That's why they all wear a uniform. That's why they all wear fatigues, right? This is Covert Radio's insight. This was the first night of the Beartaria Times Woodland ceremony on September the 1st. This was a community post I made. Beartaria Times Cult Woodland ceremony sponsored by the makers of Adderall. And the Lord said, thou shalt payest me. Right? There you go. That's what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. How is this a lie? Every person in this cult is made to drop the self and identify as a member of the whole. They got to be christened. They must be bearified. And there are people that beg to be bearified on a daily basis. And here is the big bear. This is a cult. Right?
The button for Trump, if I hit the button for RFK, like my life's going to improve. Everything's going to, it is nothing.
If I be a bear, though, everything will improve. You've said that. I'll have children. I'll meet a wife. I'll have friends. I'll have community. I'll learn skills. I'll learn a trade. I'll get to use equipment. I'll learn how to survive and self-sustenance. We'll do calisthenics. We'll have arms training. This is everything that he has said. Am I lying?
To do with them. And once you see what I'm actually doing, people get grateful. People will then donate to me. And that's how I make a living. There's no clandestine shit in my life. Like, because ever since my little beef with James O'Keefe, people accuse me for working for BlackRock. The irony is most of these people probably have their retirements with BlackRock.
Yeah. Where'd you get this idea, Owen? Huh? I never listened to all of this.
No, I get paid by no one outside of my listeners. And I don't have a cult. It's because they're just grateful because a lot of their lives improved based on the things I've said. And that's it. I hope that explains it. All right. Much love, everybody.
Love. Oh, boy. Can I ask you something, Owen? Let me move up to the mic here. Let me move up. It's just me and you, buddy. Let me ask you something. Let me find something here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and cue this up because this is what we're going to get into next. I want to ask you a question. Do you think you're going to continue to get away with this? What is the end goal? When does it stop? When does stuff like this stop? When does stuff like this stop? Don't blow this up. I covered this in the last video. Again, his bags weren't even out of the trunk. Coming home from the weekend festival romp, the Woodland ceremony. And he's already saying we need 300 people to donate $400 again to get this next plot in November. I covered all this in the last video. and it's so vague, if you're into what we're doing, whatever the fuck that is, and you can spare the cash, no more checks. No more trace. No, cash only. It's worth it. It's worth what? According to who and why? It's totally vague. We, whoever that is, will continue to compile donations. I bet you will. And raise rewards as if that's an incentive. And immediately, I'm in for another 400 there, big bear. If that's even real. Because there are people you can hire if you don't have your own troll accounts. We'll get into that in some other video. But do you think this is all just going to continue, and then you're going to, and when you're ready, when you blow through that 150,000 tax-free, well, it's 120 plus if you figure on you're not paying taxes and add another 30%. So right around 150, 60,000. Once you blow through that, is it going to be, hey guys, it's springtime. I just got back from Hawaii. I mean, we just got back from looking at a new campground, a new on the Bear Trail. Yes. So as luck would have it, I have an idea for a new acquisition of property. I need another 300 people to donate another 4. How long do you think this is going to go on? And while you're doing this, are you just going to pretend? Are you going to try to forget? Or do you think people are going to forget? You think they're going to ignore all of the thousands of people you've literally robbed already? Do you think that's just going to go away? But now, guys, he's Mr. So Brand New. Oh, yes. He's so re-energized. He's Mr. So Brand New, right? Mr. So Brand New, Owen Benjamin. Oh, boy, who's that sound like? Covert Radio listeners? Who does that sound like? My core Covert Radio listeners? Mr. So Brand New. He's on the stage again. See how this works? See how this works? You know, I was so just anxiously awaiting this stream right here because I'm like, how is this going to go? Is this going to be just a new level of the extreme king syndrome, this narcissistic personality disorder? You know, and then I wondered, like, well, how did this work out? Where did he stay? How was this staged? Because I refuse to believe that Fancy Boy would mingle with the village unwashed masses until I saw the ritual. And then it was like, oh my God. Because if this was last year, or say that a lot of this didn't start becoming, mainstream and people detracting left and right, he would have had a fenced off area. He would have the biggest, baddest motorhome, or maybe a cabin built on the facility, gated with security. This is the level of narcissism that he would continue to go with if he could, but he can't. So he had to create a ritual through catharsis. The separation has been erased now. And I need you guys to pay close attention. I know we're at an hour. I'm not going to stop now because this is what I wanted to really talk about. There's no more separation. What he did, and I'm going to show you the clip right here. Let's see it. And you already know what it is, but you don't know what it is. I'm going to explain to you what it is. Here. This is the clip right here. Gooble gobble, one of us, Google gobble. And, you know, apparently from what I can see, Amy's really trying to throw for the fences here. And we're going to watch it again. We're watching a humiliation ritual. This is a stripping away. This is a shedding. What he's doing is very, very calculated, and it's very sinister what he's actually doing, because he is now disarming himself, and he's, through catharsis, detaching himself from all of the narcissism, the king syndrome, the elitism, the I was raised a millionaire, the I don't care about anybody, I don't give a fuck about you, I'm robbing people, this isn't real, I'm a great... He went through a ceremony. He purposely knocked himself down to the level of everybody standing under that tent. This is a humiliation ritual through catharsis, and it's personal and public all at the same time. He had to destroy his own built up status, that before the last little pebble that was holding it up was destroyed. Do you understand what I'm saying? He took the initiative, and the elites do this constantly. You know, there's so many examples of humiliation rituals. There are people that even believe the Chris Rock and the Will Smith thing was a humiliation ritual. It's a rite of passage. But he's done it to himself. And the reason he did it is so wicked that now people are disarmed. They're like, what? I mean, look at him. Hey, ha, 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 ha. Hey, looky how funny. Big Bear, one of us. Google gobble, Google. He's one of us. Look how funny. He's not this big celebrity, guy that people are saying. Look, his wife's throwing tomatoes at him. He's totally destroyed his own status. This is what cartoonists do to politicians in publications all through history. Look at what fucking Xi Jinping did to people who are detractors of the Communist Party in China, who would depict him as Yogi Bear. He would have them executed. He had them executed. They lose their power with the perception of certain types of media. Medea is the enchantress. That's why the controllers, that's why they took over the Medea. Because it is constantly casting spells to what they need you to believe is reality. Medea is a very, very, very dangerous and powerful tool in the right and wrong hands. And before the final, and I'm throwing up quotations, the final cartoonist could make one more cartoon showing Owenus Larpington VIII with no robe on anymore. The king has no clothes. The emperor has no clothes. Before one more person could come out and start down this road that so many of us are on, he did it himself. Through catharsis, through ritual, through a humiliation ritual. This isn't tongue-in-cheek. This isn't for fun. He purposely knocked himself down to disarm people. He purposely showed everybody, you're not going to take my status away from me. I'm taking it away from myself. I'm removing your power to continue to humiliate me and lose people under my fucking power. I'm going to do it myself. This is a very, very, very complex participation structure spell that he is casting. And this is prevalent in cults. I know what I'm talking about. Because the psychology behind this, and I'm talking about general public, when somebody, like when you watch somebody else be humiliated, it gives you a sense of personal power. Just like every one of you that are listening to my voice, you're here because of the sense that you're getting. You're getting retribution. A lot of you are smiling. A lot of you love it. Even Owen in that secret recording. I love it. I love when he hands me my own ass. Yes, I know you do, Owen. But you use it differently than all sane people that are listening to me right now. You use it to sharpen your perception. And it's very, very possible I'm guilty for him having to go to this level. It's possible. He's removed the power of humiliation. And in cults, they do ritual public humiliation constantly. Jim Jones, again, did it constantly. He'd have people come up on the stage in front of the whole congregation, make them strip down, point out problems on their body. He'd abuse women, men. It's just a loss of status. And see, when a cult leader does that to his subjects, he's proving that none of you are special little daisies. None of you are dainty little flowers. It's the group, and that's it. You know, one popular thing that cult leaders do is they'll start saying, well, you know that there's spies among you. And you see this guy, they'll bring some random guy up, and they'll fucking destroy him in front of everybody and say, he was caught trying to, maybe leave or gather a bunch of people to sneak out of here, or he was going to try to take my position, and there's spies among you. So if you want this to happen to you, then, plot against me, basically. See, embarrassment isn't enough. He had to go to this level right here. He had to go to this level. That's why I have big celebrity. See? Big celebrity reduced to this. Look at the look. Do you think he wants to do this? He had to do this. He devised his own catharsis, his own humiliation ritual. And he made sure somebody was standing there with a camera to capture it all. But then he takes it to another level, what we're going to get to in a moment. So how's he's no more big celebrity. Looky, Google Gobble, one of us. Look, guys. Look, man. I'm not dangerous. Look, I'm not dangerous, guys. I'm one of you. I'm one of you guys. See? I'm not so dangerous, right? See, that's the thing about humiliation. When you're constantly humiliated, like I've done, like Texas Goat Radio has done, so many others, Digital Jonestown, I could go on and on and on. Liz Antoinette and Owen Benjamin Highlights, Milker Nation, Digital Jonestown. I mean, I could go on and on and on. When you're humiliated at this level, you cannot regain your status easily. It cannot be easily recovered, especially when everything you're being humiliated with is irrefutable proof and factually based. Irrefutably proven and factually based. And when this happens, people start to question the person who's being humiliated. Everybody else starts questioning their authority. Their authority to make status claims, their authority to make, promises, their authority to do certain things. Well, I mean, this guy's a fucking clown and everybody's making fun. I mean, what are we doing? I don't want to be associated with this. So he had to humiliate himself through a ritual to prove to these people that I'm one of you guys. See, I'm not threatening. Give me money. Let's keep doing this, guys. Watch how he starts backtracking now. This is where it gets terrifying. Watch this. Again, this is the first video, hours ago? Well, yesterday, when he came home.
We're live. 1 second. We're in the Speakeasy Saloon. I'm going to wait for Codsworth. I just got an email. I'll just kick things off right now with an email I just got from my mom. She just said, everyone was changed by this weekend.
Look at the look. Look at the eyes. Everyone was changed by this weekend. There's no truer words. It's terrifying because he's 100% right. They all went through a ritual. They all witnessed a ceremony. Mommy knows that. Mommy smart. Daddy smarter. Owen knows that. Owen knows. Mommy knows. Mommy, Owen's biggest fan. And for all we know, there was a powwow between Mommy, Daddy Owen and Daddy's doctorate level knowledge of political science and rhetoric and God knows what else. And Mommy's literal knowledge. Owen, the Greeks, when an emperor was called into question, this is what they had to do. This is what they had to do. I'm not fucking lying to you guys, and I'm not kidding. This motherfucker is dangerous. He's dangerous. Back in the Battle of Edessa in Roman times, there was a Roman emperor named Valerian. And Rome, as you guys know, just was moving, conquer, moving, expand the empire, conquer, move, Rome. Say, this went on and on and on till, obviously, and we're at the end too of our run here, 200 years. All great, and again, look into this if you don't believe me. All great civilizations only lasted around 200 years. 200 years. Now, I'm not talking about culture. I'm talking about empires, powers on the planet, the predominant powers, Rome being one of them. About 200, maybe around 230, somewhere in there. We're right at the end of America. We're right at the end. And again, just like there's nothing new under the sun, the Romans at the end it was just a mess. America, look at us. Can't even tell if, don't get me started. Don't. Hi, I'm Covert Radio. I identify as he, him today at this moment, but then I am very gender fluid. This moment, now I am her, and I demand that I have a pregnancy test. Then please check my ovaries. Sir, you don't have ovaries. I'll dare you. How dare you? I'll call the ADL right now. You will be fired. And they are. But the Roman Emperor Valerian in I think it was like 300, 260 somewhere in there. The Romans were beated. They were defeated. They were defeated at the Battle of Edessa. But the Roman Emperor arranged a meeting with a leader, the King of Kings, Shapur the Great, the Shaha. That it was the King of Kings. But he was the leader of the Sassanid Empire. Anyway, they had this meeting, they came to an agreement, and so on and so forth. But Shapur betrayed the truce between the Romans and the Sassanid Empire. The Shapur betrayed it. And through the night, he had soldiers go and kidnap Valerian. This is the Roman Empire, the emperor at the time. He held him captive for the rest of his life. And there are so many stories about the rituals, the humiliation rituals that Shapur used against Valerian to show the world that this is your emperor, this is your leader. He used him as a human footstool whenever he would, be mounting his horse. This is a Roman emperor made to kneel down so that the Sassanid emperor, Shapur could jump on his back and mount his horse. Talk about humiliation. Oh, we can't get to that, son. Son, we can't get to that. No. Here's what you need to do, Owen. This is what you need to do this weekend. And there's even stories like the Romans tried to pay off Shapur. They tried to, pay this huge ransom for his release. And because of that, they were offended. So they flayed him alive. There was other stories that they made him swallow molten gold. And then after that, they took his cadaver, they skinned it, and then they stuffed it with straw and hay, and they displayed him as a trophy. Okay? That is fucking humiliation. This is how far back humiliation rituals go. And I assure you that it really sends ripples through a world that is not privy to that level of barbaric acts. You see a fucking Roman emperor splayed out, filleted, and then stuffed with hay and then mounted as a trophy. It's going to make you think twice about standing up to the leader, right? To Shapur. I mean, to this day, humiliation is a very common form of punishment. They do it all over the world. There's humiliation punishment in China right now today. And people, see, the reason it works so well is because people dread it. They dread to be humiliated. That is one, like, what's his name? Johnny Depp said this. Or was it? Yeah, Johnny Depp during this Amber Heard trial. He was somewhere, he was in an interview, he was talking about humiliation. He says the biggest fear the weapon that you can hold against somebody is public humiliation. And he's 100% fucking true. He's 100% right. Public humiliation is the most powerful weapon somebody could wield, especially in the hands of somebody who understands Medea. But when you take that power away from them, it's a whole new ball game. And that's the thing Johnny Depp said. He's like, the problem is that doesn't work on me because I don't give a fuck. But he doesn't have to now because he's tasted every wine. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter now. but it's a very strong deterrent. It keeps people in line. But go ahead. What else did Mommy? Mommy knows everybody changed. The ritual worked, right, Owen?
I don't know if you guys are on the Beartaria Times app, but you should be. And, or if you follow me on Instagram or any of these other places and you just saw, people's testimony and pictures and everything from this weekend, it was unreal, like beyond any of my expectations, to the point where, I'm still processing it.
So fake. I mean, all of this is so fake. When you have to pretend to have emotion, you really need to examine your mental status. There's no hope for him, Texas Goat. These laughs, I watched about 5 minutes of this, I'd say, and we're not going to get into a lot of this, but because I don't even know what's in this video. Texas Goat played some of it and it was late. So, I mean, but the laugh is so fucking shallow and fake. It's scary. It's actually scary.
I'm so glad Adam from Film Grain recorded it as a documentary. The special is going to be unreal.
How much is that going to cost?
I got so much to talk about, but all right. Gagnon said, I'm pleased to announce we're having Ebron Mox as our featured guest hanging with the Bears tonight at 9 Eastern Standard Time. I like that guy. Yeah, that's awesome. The BT app is the only social media I have. That's smart. I like that. You look beyond words, BB. Yeah, no, it's hard to put into words, man. It was like life-changing for me and a lot of other people. And I got to bring my whole family. I was keeping that under wraps. I got to bring Amy and all the kids. And just to see, there was 1,500 people there. Clean, sober, clean, respect.
So you drug tested 1,500 people? See what he's doing? He knows that these beartards are a bunch of drug addict alcoholics. He knows that. I know that. I can tell by watching them. And if they're not, they're psychos, okay? Because you have to be, listen, you're not going to tell me that these guys are not blown the fuck out alcoholics. You're never going to tell me that, Owen. Excavator Bear, whoever the fuck, I'm not naming names because I don't know them personally. I just know people. You know what I mean? I know tradesmen. And to make this statement that 1,500 people are, why would that cross your mind? You see how off and how weird this is? He's rebuilding. He's rebuilding. This is catharsis, the renewal, the refreshing, the cremation. He destroyed all of it through a ritual in his mind. He's been humiliated. Google gobble one of us. You know, like even the fact that it was a pillory. The English, back, I think in the 1800s late 1800s was the last time that they would use pillories to punish people for, again, public humiliation. It's those things like, you'd see the pilgrims, they would be, in the stockade. The English had the stockades, they had the pillories where you're immobile. Your head's put in them, your arms are put in them, right? Right here. This is a pillory right here. That's a pillory. Let's see. That's a pillory. This is what he's in. He's in a pillory right there. So this is actually a real device. I mean, it was used by the English in the 1800s. They used stockades. They used the pillories. And it immobilized people. And it was in a purposefully uncomfortable, degrading position. This is how women get mounted. This is how dogs get mounted. There's a lot of thought behind this ritual, this humiliation. It's degrading. It's uncomfortable. It actually is, you can't lay down. You can't sit down. And if you try to go limp, you'll kill yourself. You'll choke yourself out. It's like breaking your neck. And all the villagers would gather to taunt and torment them. You know, they couldn't wait till somebody was locked up in the stockade or locked up in the pillory. Exactly like this. It was a public humiliation ritual. But back then, instead of throwing tomatoes at them, which they did do, but that wasn't the main fun. The main fun was tarring and feathering them. They used to tar and feather them. And this went on in all of the colonies in England back in the 17 and 1800s. They'd take hot tar feathers and they'd fucking lather them up with the hot tar, put feathers on them, and then they'd throw them in a wooden cart and parade them around the village by a horse and a wagon. Ritual humiliation is done to enforce social order. And I'm telling you, he's had to break away his own status. And this is why he's so elated right now, because what he's doing, this is the noonday sun. This is the new sun coming up for. He believes. So let's watch this.
The sheriffs that we're working with had a blast. You just see like fields of children playing, and
I seen about 20 kids there. In every video and picture I seen about 15 or 20 kids. But there were fields of children. This is a safe space. This is where you want your children to be. And for only $400, you can experience this too. And for $10,000, you can have a hot dog and sauerkraut.
I'll just read some of the stuff people were saying, and then I'll get into the gravy, but it's like hard to put into words. And I'm glad to be home. Don't get me wrong. But I did this video on Instagram and Telegram and all these places talking about it. Thoughts on sobriety and the festival and future goals. Because we're going to talk about the future and what we got to do. And Real Natural Human Diet was there. The dude on Instagram that's always eating raw meat. He said, "Never experienced anything like that in my life, man. Tried to explain it to friends, completely unable to articulate it, but you did it much better." Longbow Bearer, who's a legend.
A big picnic with live entertainment, a bunch of drunk guys. You can't put it into words? Because I'll be honest, everything I've seen looks like one of my family reunions. I mean, maybe a slightly bigger version, but yes, it's in a field. Everybody parks in one location. There's a big white tent, an event tent. I mean, there may not be Hollywood lighting and sound effects and smoke machines, but yeah. You know, we have games for the kids. There's a big bouncy house every year. Yeah. I mean, this is what we do. Like, I don't, it's just, it's unbelievable. It's so hard to put into words. I can't find the words. Oh, dear God, this village I've adorned. I cannot explain in the King's English what I've experienced.
By the way, I let him drive my mom home.
And some jokes write themselves. Go ahead. We stopped? What's going on here? I'm scared. Owen, what's going on? Oh, let me refresh. Hang on. I have 1,000 windows open. Hold on. Now we're going to have to watch an ad. Hey, enable sound. Skip ad. Okay, here we go.
After knowing him 2 days, that's how much of a stand-up guy he is. He said, "I've avoided large crowds of people for the last 15 to 20 years. Turns out it's not that I don't like festivals. It's that I was never with my people. Never in my life would I ever thought I could honestly say, I can't wait for next year's festival." Guys, it's okay. So, and I'm really into sobriety now, and it's not, and don't feel judged, because I was talking.
Oh my God. Okay.
About that on Twitter, and people were spiraling. I'm just like,
see what I mean? See what I mean about how he's recasting? He's recasting spells because he cannot defend. He can't explain. He can't lie. So he has to now take, rearrange, and recast. So 2 minutes and 54 seconds into a 3-hour stream, the very first words you spoke after Humiliation Ritual, you felt the need to say sobriety how many times in 2.5 minutes? You mentioned how now everybody's rearranged in the first 30 seconds, and you've mentioned mommy twice. So, in Fields of Children, a play, has butterflies dance on their flowing gold hair. Yes. Now you're so into sobriety.
You know, talking about the role of alcohol in people's lives and how completely destructive it is. And I know some people drink casually, and the people that truly drink casually, like maybe one or two, are not offended by what I'm saying and they're not triggered. It's the people that are drinkers. Like, you're not really, I don't know, there's really no place for you in public. I don't know how else to put it. Like, the fact that everybody was sober and that a lot of the men had chosen to not watch pornography and all this stuff.
I'm not going to be able to do this. I mean, we're 3 minutes into this and you're already surmising and you're making these statements that are just total fucking bullshit. This is so dementedly twisted that it's confusing almost. Why do you feel the need to mention 1,500 people, probably 1,491 of them were male, and then you say that none of them are on alcohol or drinking alcohol when I know there was fucking gallons and gallons and gallons of alcohol there, not to mention weed and every fucking thing else, and then you say they make a choice not to watch. How can you, who the fuck are you? How do you know this? Did each and every one of them come up to you and say, "Oh, hello, Big Bear. I am Purple Peanut Bear, and I have sworn off pornography now for 17 days and 3 weeks. And then he gets dunked into the tomato juice of the ritual everybody just went through. Yay! Welcome anew. Now you shall be whatever the fuck, new bear. Now it's new excavator bear, new big bear, right? So brand new. Get the fuck out of here. This is not going away, Owen. It's not going away. And the spell, the cast, is not going to come to fruition. It's not.
It made the atmosphere electric and calm at the same time.
That's exactly what they said about Jonestown. Every survivor interview said, and I can't explain it. I don't know what happened. There was just this calm. This calm came over. It was like, I can't explain it. A calm, it just, you felt it almost roll into Jonestown. Go look into it for yourself.
I have a lot of great pictures for you and stories, but I have a profound optimism for the future. Profound optimism. The lack of alcohol is a perfect catalyst. Yeah. And just we have to, because I'm not going to go into your trailers or camps and police anybody or anything. Like, not at all. But
yet,
we're never going to sell alcohol, and we want a real culture.
You can't sell alcohol. See, he's putting things on a pedestal that are illegal. You can't sell alcohol, Owen. You cannot sell alcohol in the United States without a license. So, but yet he's trying to show everybody this is a safe space, guys. There's no alcoholic. We need more women here, guys. See, I almost feel like he's pitching to women. Children, daisies, no pornography, no alcohol, ladies. Safe space. Need more women here or something? Like, what are you pitching, Owen? What are you pitching? Because now it's really sounding like a cult. Now I feel like this image here is really prophetic. Really, really prophetic. What are you actually pitching here?
That promotes sobriety. because I did stand-up for years and years and years, and I haven't done stand-up in 4 years. And I did that show and recorded it, and guys, it's awesome. And I think one of the main reasons was the crowd was so present and so high vibrational.
So everybody there is in a cult. They're all demented and deranged, and they all paid a lot of money to be there. But you're going to judge your performance based on their focus and participation on that?
I actually could look at the crowd and feel like I loved them. Because a lot of
Oh my God. I didn't watch any of this. This is fucking terrifying.
times doing stand-up, I always felt like they were kind of animalistic, and I had to wrangle them and control them and beat them down. Because drunk people are terrible. And I used to drink all the time. I totally get it. It's like, you're just like, you don't remember what you did the night before. Every domestic violence situation always involves alcohol. Every bar fight has alcohol. It's always alcohol. And if you're in a situation with a lot of people and a lot of children, guys, there was like hundreds of children. My kids got to play with all these kids, and it's just to have that sober energy and to have that highly responsible energy and that grateful energy was unbelievable. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. And, you know, we're already gearing up for next year. So, and we're thinking about, because we had 1,500 people, and we're thinking maximum 2,500 we ever want to do. And for those of you guys that experienced it, you know how valuable it is. So try and secure your tickets now. And
I may have to, I'm not going to bore you guys, because now I'm just getting boring, because, you know, I just want to say this one thing here, because we're going to check out one more video, but like, I'm sitting here listening, thinking, like, with all this pitch towards women and how he's trying to rebrand and, you know, I don't know, just, it's all so brand new. Like, what he's like trying to do, it seems, is just show no threat. Gooble gobble, I'm one of you. No threat. See, I'm not a king. See, I'm not. See, I'm just like you. Look, throwing tomatoes at me. And I know there's something about somebody paid $10,000 for. He said $10,000 to throw 33 tomatoes at him. Whatever. I mean, that'll be another video, but. I'm sitting here thinking about, I was like, what would actually cause him to really, within 5 minutes, to try to really stress zero threat, no threat, I'm no threat, this is no threat, no threat, no threat. You know, is he trying to attract women? But see, it dawned on me. This is also a technique used in cults, but more so in, like, you know, in a tribal, societal, communal type situation where, you know, just like the troll or whoever made the comment, oh, he's the worst cult leader ever. He's not trying to fuck anybody's wife. I said, not yet. Not yet. We're not there yet. But see, what happens in these communes, in these cults, and a lot of different tribes, there's always these complex initiation rites, and they're always designed to basically diffuse the threat of fit and fertile young men. They and see, I think what Owen realized by seeing these 1,500 people that he says, and I say 1,491 of them were all men, like I'm about to show you. He's trying to remove a male, you know, gerontocracy here. Basically we men, some gay, but that's okay. So he's trying to reduce that threat, because this is, again, a cult technique. This is a tribal communal technique where they do a lot of different initiation rites and humiliation. There are some tribes that actually do circumcision. Like, I mean, I'm saying up to the age of 15, 16, 17 years old, because it symbolizes castration. So what he's doing is trying to first verbally castrate all, because anybody there, he knows all the media that people are going to see it's going to be 98% men. So he's trying to remove that threat. And that's again pretty fucking terrifying. But here's the caliber of men. I don't know. I don't know if this dude is a master troll for real. Because if this guy is for real, I mean, it's just fucking terrifying. It really is. If this guy is for real, but I feel like he's just a hilarious, masterful troll. If he's not trolling us, oh my God, this is the caliber of the males of the 98 percentiles who pay daddy money and they're looking for acceptance from males. So let's take a look at this guy.
What's up, Internet? Welcome back. This is Schizo Radio, a.k.a. Joker Bear. I'm fresh out of Bear Fest, and man, oh man, that was the time of my life. Faith Farrah, get your ass in the Bears. You belong there. It's fine. Don't listen to all the boo fucking who anger cortisol shit from Barricade being all judgy-wudgy. And come on over to Bear Fest. Like, it's fucking great here. You would love these people. Like, it's...
I seriously can't.
Like, it's an...
I seriously can't tell if he's trolling or if he's serious.
Entire hayfield full of crushers, and all of them know we didn't go to the fucking moon. So everybody that you talk to, you get to move forward.
I swear, I hope this dude's trolling, because if he does, I want him on the team, because just the mannerism. Oh, if he's for real, though, man. Jesus. Oh, my God. If he's for real, this is scary.
And all of them know we didn't go to the fucking moon. So everybody that you talk to, you get to move forward in the conversation about anything you want. Because nobody there is shitting their diaper and getting butthurt that you said whatever. You know, they're just down to have the conversation. And for me, that's like heaven. Like I said on my way out, I said, goodbye, heaven. Like, I was about to fucking cry. I was having so much fun meeting all these people. Like, I met more people than I can. I mean, Todd stood out. He had a lot of interesting things to talk about concerning the Bible. I'll get into some of his points. Tim was traveling with him. I mean, there's so many people that I met. I can't even keep up. I met a bear that like came to my house to eat tacos the other day with his family, and I've met so damn many bears. I mean, shout to you, man, wherever you're at. What's up? And I can't even remember his bear name. I think it was Colin was his actual name. Like, I've met so many people.
Oh, I know who he's talking about. Talker Trouser Taco Bear. That's who it was. Trouser Taco Bear. Yeah.
That I can't keep them straight. And for a guy like me that's not much of a social butterfly or anything at all, like, this was kind of like the year of my life is like a pinched toes of antisocial.
Like, if this guy, if this dude is for real, I have a feeling he's been in a basement for about the last 16 years of his life. And I know I'm not going to scroll down, but I made a comment that I was like something on this video. I'm like, has this guy ever had any human interaction prior to Bearfest 2023? Like, has he ever had human interaction? And I'm being dead serious, because if this is real, this is terrifying. It really is. These people are walking around you and your family.
Schizo radio behavior, right? And this has been a dark year. I've explained a bunch of shit that I went through in a live stream that was like immediately deleted because I'm speaking out about the totally flaming gay injectable poison available to you from people that want you to die, that gullible people, including someone way too close to me, fucking took. And I ranted and I raved and I bitched and I moaned and I released a lot of anger, and YouTube said, you're not allowed to tell people that the shit that's giving everybody myocarditis and making them die is...
Well, why don't you just take a page out of your buddy Wrangler Star's book there, Schizo Radio Bear? I mean, you know, he's tiptoed all around this, all around the communist control. None of his live streams are being deleted because he has his corporate sponsors trying to sell you a pair of $500 fucking boots while being an elitist millionaire who hates America. So, or who hates the unwashed masses, I should say. So yeah, go ahead.
Bad. I have to pretend it's good. It's great. You fucking believe that shit is great. You go ahead. You stick it in deep, and fucking push that plunger in it.
Okay. I can't do this, dude. Yeah, I didn't watch all of this. I made it past about right here. I'd say I didn't get to this part yet though, but yeah, now I'm starting to believe this guy's for real. So there you have it. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, guys, this was a ritual. This was a complex process through catharsis and humiliation. We're going to really dissect this new video. This one right here. Because like I said, we only made it 5 minutes in. And I know that through some things I heard when Texas Goat was going over this, that there's a lot of renewal. There's a lot of talk of renewal. So brand new. So it's not going to happen, Owen. It's not going to happen. Satanic ritual or not, gobble gobble one of us, knock yourself off your own throne before somebody else can do it. No. Sorry, bud. It's going to keep going. I'm Covert Radio. This is brutally honest, fearlessly unapologetic talk radio. If you want to support this type of media, become a Patreon. All links are in the description. You guys take care. Have a good day.
There's a war out there, old friend. A world war. And it's not about who's got the most bullets. It's about who controls the information. What we see and hear, how we work, what we think. It's all about the information.
You want a war? You got a war.